The worst horror movie I ever saw was fucking great.
Hello and welcome to This May Hurt a Bit. My name is James Strayer and this is
John C. Myers.
And we are a horror franchise podcast discussing each film in horror franchises. And today we are starting our run on Silent Hill from 2006. So, John, our first video game series.
Yes.
Famously good. Well, maybe not this movie in particular.
Okay.
But
I was like, wait, what? Did I watch the wrong movie?
Video game adaptations in general, famously well loved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a good video game adaptation.
Exactly. For those of you who did not listen to the Fright Night wrap up when we declared what we were going to do next, A, how dare you? B, welcome back. And C, this came about just because I'm playing Silent Hill 2 Remake right now. And I don't get around to playing that many video games, but I'm very much loving the Silent Hill 2 Remake. And I know John's played them, friend of the show. Michael has played them. It's kind of in the air right now. And so I just thought, like, well, what better way for me to enjoy more Silent Hill than to engage in the movies that I'm sure are great.
Oh, yeah.
And then the cherry on top of all this is that there are 2 movies, but a third one comes out in January. So this will be the first time that we will have timed it as such that we will roll right into a brand new one. So that sounded fun. And
yeah, directed by the same guy, Christoph Gans, 20 years later.
I have not played any of the other Silent Hill games. That's not terribly surprising. What is your history with them? I know you're a fan.
Yeah. Very formative in sort of my love of horror video games and just my appreciation of horror in general. Because at the time it came out, I had not played anything like it. Like I like the Resident Evil games, but those are very much like you're a special ops, highly armed army or cop guy in a mansion with lots of guns. And this one was like, you're just a guy.
Yeah.
And is a lot more atmospheric and creepy. And so, yeah, I've played almost all of them. They've gotten very bad since like post 3.
Okay.
They're pretty rough. There's still some I like in there, but most of them are pretty bad. But.
And you'd seen the movies before?
I had seen this one before.
Me too. God, almost 20 years ago.
Yep.
I don't even know what to say to that, so we're going to skip right over it.
We don't need to get... yeah,
we're
let's just
skip right over
stare into the empty grave and be like, yep, that's coming.
I remember I saw this here in Portland with aforementioned Michael Holloway and our other roommate, John Worsley at the time. The three of us, John was a big fan of Silent Hill games. And I was just like, I'll watch any horror movie in the theater with you guys. So we all went, and I have not seen it since. I remember thinking it was kind of okay, but again, I didn't have much to go on, you know.
I was not a fan of the couple of Resident Evil movies that had come out by that time.
Good point. Yeah.
And so I was just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comparatively, it's fine, but it's not.
I always put Resident Evil and Silent Hill into the kind of the same or a similar bucket. And and you know, I don't want to say too much this episode. Like, I don't know a ton about this, but it's kind of true. But I'm just saying, like, I think you hit the nail on the head. From what I've done so far is just like, yeah, the RE games are, you're a badass. And in Silent Hill 2, you're just James. And I can absolutely relate to that. You know, just carrying a pipe around, bashing. I mean, just looking for something that you don't know what it is. That's God.
Yeah, it's a little bit more existential.
Oh, man.
The holidays are over and we are bummed out.
Is there anything else that you would say is the big differentiation between the Resident Evil games and Silent Hill, besides just that protagonist type of thing?
I mean, it's their presentation of horror to me was always different. Like I would always make the comparison. I probably have done it on the show. Where it's like Resident Evil, you see a long, creepy hallway and there's a corner and you're like, well, yeah, when I turn that corner, there's gonna be a monster there. And there is. Silent Hill, same thing. But when you turn the corner, there's not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just like building that tension throughout. And there's tons of like pointless battles and stuff like that, but it's bigger on the creep factor than Resident Evil.
And just for me, there's definitely some shooting going on, but that's less the focus. And so I don't have to feel completely overwhelmed by controls and stuff like that. Like the point of the games for me so far has just been wandering around in this massively creepy atmospheric space. And that's what I've enjoyed.
And that's sort of the problem of adapting a video game like this, is that the horror at a large part comes from it's happening to you.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't really matter who the characters are, whatever. It's you playing it. And so the monsters are coming for you. Same thing with like Five Nights at Freddy's, which I've only played a little bit of the first one because I did not enjoy it. It's like you are just a guy manning the security system. I'm sure there's all kinds of lore now. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's just what it was so it's just like, yeah, that's happening to you. And so in this movie, you need a little bit more to hold on to because you're just watching a person kind of wander around and do the same stuff.
Right.
And the reasoning for it is pretty slim or pretty sparse.
Two things on the heels of that. I accidentally watched Five Nights at Freddy's a couple nights ago because I was at a friend's house and
Would you trip and fall into a TV that was playing it?
They were going to turn it on and I was just like, I'll stick around for a little bit. And then a cute dog sat on my lap. And,
oh, yeah, you're done.
And I was like, well, I only live 5 minutes away, so I'll just hang out here and let this dog sleep and look at me all cute. And so movie was not for me. I'll tell you that much. Right. But that dog was. So that was fun. To your point of, you know, things happening to you in a game, my partner Jill sat down and watched me play for just a short little bit. Video games are not her thing, but I thought maybe she would enjoy the vibe and everything. And her remark was, yeah, if you were really there in that apartment, I bet that would be creepy. And that was it. And then she left. Not for her.
Which I'm on the opposite token, though. I mean, like, you have people that love watching video games.
That's
you know
the
what I mean? Like Twitch exists, and that's a thing that I never have fully understood. Even though I was talking to my sister about this because my sister, you know, was like, "That's what I did. I would watch you play." Right. And I think it's like, well, yeah, because I was the one playing, so it doesn't make sense that it's my turn. Damn it,
yes,
let
exactly.
me play.
Yes, I mean, I used to do that when I had roommates who were more into games, Michael and John. But it was also a way for us to like chat and have a beer too. But I would enjoy watching them play certain things, and we'd all solve puzzles and stuff. But
yeah, and to be fair, on the second one, I was over at a friend's house and his wife was watching, and she would stand behind the couch, and if things got too scary, she'd dip into the hallway.
Yeah, kind of adorable.
So yeah, so it's a different. You know, it's not necessarily universal, but for me, I think that's a huge problem with video game movies is that
for sure
you have to like flesh out characters and give them people a reason to care. I don't know that they do that a great job with that in this.
So for the uninitiated, what is the overall kind of, you know, and you don't have to get too deep into it, but what's the general lore of a Silent Hill game?
That's a huge issue because initially the director, Christoph Gans, wanted to do the second one, the remake that you're playing right now.
Right. Which is what the new movie is going to be.
Well, the second one is so much more psychological, I guess, because it's the character designs. It's a lot more character focused than just like you're in a weird town and things are happening. It has a lot more to do with the inner state of the character and that kind of stuff. Whereas the first one is more just, boy, this is a crazy town.
Yeah.
And Christoph Gans was like, well, I can't do the second one unless I explain what happened to the town, which is what happens in the first one. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time since I played the original one, but a lot of the original one is very, chalk it up to translation issues, just video games in general not being the best written thing, particularly of that time.
Yeah.
But just never really getting a clear idea of all the intricacies. And so I think this movie tries to fill in a lot of gaps of that. In fact, makes things more muddled. Whereas you could probably just have made the second one.
Just like a self-contained story.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything because I don't want to ruin the game for you. Right. I mean, we're going to spoil this movie, but but I think, audiences are savvy enough now that they would probably be able to understand that. But also, I think they would see twists coming further away just because we're more used to that.
For sure.
That kind of thing in horror movies now.
By the end of this movie, or like the beginning of the third act, I was just like, I don't understand a single thing that is going on with this gigantic info dump. And I was like, I'm going to need John on the case on this one.
Yeah. Guess what? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And it's also like I said, they expanded it outwards in ways that I understand why they did it, why they tried to like fill in some of the more obtuse parts of the story.
Right.
But they confused the issue, which is funny because this is written by Roger
Avery, right?
Most known for his work on Pulp Fiction, but previously we talked about him for Phantasm 4 because he was a big Phantasm guy.
Right, yeah.
And there was some dissent among the people behind the scenes of Phantasm about whether his proposed script was good or made no sense in terms of being a Phantasm movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I feel that way a bit about this as well, where it's like, I kind of feel like you missed the point of some of this. Reading an interview with him talking about it, like he got brought on by Christoph Gans. They knew each other. Christoph Gans always wanted to do this and brought him on. He was initially like, this could be an English movie. I'm French. My homie's French. We just need you to help translate the dialogue, make it good.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then it basically became rewriting the whole thing. And they went through at least 20 drafts with the studio and all that. And so a lot of changes made.
And to his credit, Christoph Gans, he was lobbying for over 5 years to get the rights to this. This was truly a passion project for him. Man got paid, I'm sure. But, you know, just like he desperately wanted to make this movie. I didn't realize until I looked him up again, but he did Brotherhood of the Wolf too.
Yeah, that movie is goofy.
It is so strange. That's another one of those like, wow, that looks incredible. I can't wait to go see that. Nothing like the trailer, I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, very, very long, but it did include Native Americans doing kung fu for no reason.
Yes, that is true. But yeah, this he made this like impassioned, almost 40-minute long video plea for him to be able to make this movie, along with like stuff that he shot on his own and using the music and stuff like that. So, you know, just out the gate, just saying like the man cared, whether or not he was successful or not. This is not a director for hire hack type of thing. Like he wanted to do a good job.
Yeah, well, he had gained some notoriety for making a, not only just Brotherhood of the Wolf, but made a film version of a manga anime called Crying Freeman. According to, again, the same interview with Roger Avery, Christoph Gans believes like, well, you have to really respect the creators of this stuff in Japan, like really convince them that you're the man for the job on this. And so that was part of the thing, like pitching it to, among other people, Akira Yamaoka, who did the music for the games with the iconic music. Like that's one of the great things about the games, the music and the sound design for those games, out of this world.
Right.
And so, yeah, he's very impassioned about it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
He tries to bring that dreamy style of the first one to this movie in ways that I think work and don't. Like the guy can't not move a camera. Yeah. Dude loves his crane shots.
Oh, yeah.
Always be tilting, always be moving around. Yep. And sometimes that works to create this languid dreamscape kind of thing. And other times it just feels like an additional remove from everything.
Right. So I guess getting into it, I mean, we start off with this couple who is clearly in distress because their adopted daughter is sleepwalking at night, and she keeps referring to a place called Silent Hill. So, of course, when that happens to you, I don't know about you, John, but like you take them right to the scary city that's happening.
Absolutely,
right,
yeah.
You know, just take them right to the source of the fear, face your fears. Very modern parenting, I'm sure. Face your fears, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. They still do that?
Just throw them in the pool until they swim.
Right, yeah, that
or
kind of thing.
Just get a new kid. Yeah.
Toss you into a Silent Hill, see if you get out.
Into a Silent Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there are some lines of dialogue between Rose De Silva, our main character played by Rhoda Mitchell, and her husband, Sean Bean.
We got to put Sharon in a hospital. She needs constant care and she needs that medication.
The medication doesn't work. She's getting worse every day. Honey, the adoption people said Sharon came from West Virginia. And Silent Hill is in West Virginia. I'm not giving up on her, Chris.
And the opening is very telling because they're chasing after her. She has to cross a highway to get to where the girl is, who's like standing on the edge of a cliff. Gets the girl. It's all kind of scary. And then it's punctuated by the honk of a horn by Sean Bean being bad at crossing the street. Like the danger's gone, but then they're just like, hey, remember Sean Bean? And then that's the rest of the movie for Sean Bean. Well, is, hey, remember Sean Bean? He's on his own little adventure that's not really related to anything.
Well, what he's doing is they're clearly making another homage to another classic video game, Frogger.
Frogger, yeah.
You know, it's acknowledging the past.
Yeah, Frogger is in the Silent Hill universe, confirmed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but part of the reason that happens, the whole Sean Bean thing happens, is allegedly the studio got a hold. Well, Christoph Gans was like, we should have only women in this movie. I love women. Women are sexy.
Yeah.
And the studio was like, you got to have some men in here. Put some men in the script. There's no men. People are going to watch it. And so they found a way to shoehorn in men unrelated to anything else in the movie.
Completely. And, you know, we can say it up top and barely refer to it going forward. I think the overwhelming consensus is you could remove Sean Bean from this film and not a thing would be different. Like, all he does is occasionally be on the receiving end of some lore dumps, which I guess you could still pack a few more lore dumps into the main story. Because we don't care about that clearly. But yeah, Sean Bean does not need to be in this film. It also occurred to me that like the running trivia about him is he constantly dies in all of his movies. Mm-hmm. Dude's in a horror movie, survives.
Survives, yeah. I mean, that's why it stinks. That's why it's no good.
Right, yeah.
He has a, you know, like the big back tattoo that Robert De Niro has in Cape Fear.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like that, but it says, ain't get paid till I'm in that grave.
Sure. I really quite like Sean Bean. 90% of that and the rest of the world, I'm sure that stems from him playing Boromir. And I love him in that. And he'll always be Boromir to me. Although I did rewatch Patriot Games this year. And he's an Irish terrorist. And I was like, heck yeah, bring him on.
Or Trevelyan from GoldenEye.
Oh, yes. It is the double bummer of Sean Bean being great. And I would love to watch him, but he's pointless in this movie. And I don't want to watch him. Every time he kept coming up on screen, I was like, will Sean Bean do something? Nah.
Same thing with Kim Coates, who he kind of pals around with as Officer Thomas Gucci.
Oh, yes.
Sure. Kim Coates is a great, slimy, sneering villain.
Right.
Or, he's still sort of a villain in Sons of Anarchy, but he's one of them. But he was like last Boy Scout, a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. He's always just like a greaseball. So to have him be like, nah, I'm a good cop. No, you're not. Be slimy. That's what I want to see.
We know. Yeah.
He's fine, but just, yeah.
So anyway, the mom, Rose, takes the kiddo. What's the kid's name? Sharon. Oh, yeah. Because unfortunately, pop culture has decided that you can only say Sharon and yell Sharon's name in Ozzy's voice. So that's what I just kept thinking of.
Yeah, it's also like it's Cheryl in the game. That somehow would have been too confusing. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. It's fine. Doesn't matter if they change it.
Yeah. Rose takes Sharon off. I guess, Sean Bean doesn't like this idea because he goes so far as to like cancel the credit cards or something, which I found like that's a bit overbearing, buddy. Why don't you put them in more peril?
The front of this is really truncated. It really wants to get you to the town. Fair. And so you're just being thrown this information because this thing happens at the beginning and then immediately she has already left and she's talking to her daughter. They've like stopped at the side of the road. Her daughter's drawing a picture and she's explaining to her daughter,
honey, sometimes when you go to sleep, you go on a little walk. And sometimes you talk about a place called Silent Hill.
I don't remember.
Oh, that's okay, sweetie. That's why we're going to go there.
And I just like that because I was thinking about using that as a parent to be like, okay, when you sleep, you keep talking about this place called The Dentist. And so we're going to take you there. And remember, this is what you want.
Right.
You wanted this. Yes. So I'm taking you to the dentist. So don't complain.
You keep drawing pictures of dentists and toothpicks.
And tooth decay. Yeah. And the cavity creeps. But, and yeah, so they're heading out to Silent Hill and Sean Bean figures out she's not answering her phone. And he figures it out by a moment that I think resonates with a lot of, anyone that's been in a relationship, but really I think to any sort of married man or man relationship where you look at your partner's computer and you realize they're looking at ghost stuff online.
Yeah. It happens to us all.
Yeah. And it's terrible because it's scary.
Yeah.
She's on a website called like ghosttownsofamerica.web. Apparently he's looking at Silent Hill.
At least he used Google, which I love, search engines in movies that are just like, AccuSearch.com or something.
Going to youlook.view or And so he's like, okay, well, that must be what happened. She took the kid. And so he cancels the credit cards.
More pissed about the ghost stuff than anything,
Yeah, because that scared him. He wasn't ready. He's already concerned about his daughter. He's like, ghosts.
Right. Ooh. I feel like she keeps getting slowed down as much as we want to get to that small town. They got to stop for gas. They got to go into the diner. And then we got to get intimidated by a fetish cop.
Yeah.
Because, boy, howdy. We are of a state and a country where when a cop is on screen, we're like, not sure about this. I feel like they're going to overexert their power somehow. I may not be quite as ACAB as other people are, but, when you see a cop in a moment like this, you're like, that cop's going to do some dirty stuff. And I think that this cop was about ready to perform at a birthday party or something because Jesus, like, better swear this cop out.
Yeah, because she's wearing like leather pants because she's a bike cop.
Yeah.
And actually, because I think she is in the game too, if I remember correctly. But Rose is not in the game at all. She's just a new character they invented.
Okay,
possibly because in the original game, I believe you're
a man, right? And this pissed you off, right?
This made me mad because you've got to have men on the screen. Right. Actually, it was me that wrote the letter. It was like, how dare you have women be in this? Fine. Whatever. Sure. That's fine. But like, so they added this marriage thing in the original story, how they get the daughter. Because they've already established in the movie that Sharon is adopted and that it's adopted from an orphanage that we find out later. In the game, what happens is that Harry and his wife find a little girl at the side of the road. They find a baby and they're like, free baby. And it's ours.
Wow.
And this ties in later because he's driving, his wife has since died and he's driving by the town, like on vacation, something like that with his daughter. And he ends up seeing something in the middle of the road, crashes the car. And that's how they end up in Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Whereas this, she's purposely trying to go and runs into this cop. The cop is also like randomly trapped in Silent Hill. I don't think they have an interaction. But this one, the cop is like suspicious of her for reasons unknown.
Exactly.
They don't really make that clear. It's like, well, this mom is yelling at her daughter. She must be a kidnapper.
Right. Yeah. And I was even paying close attention to what the mom was doing, what Rose was doing to the daughter there. And she's just like kind of consoling her a little bit and hugging her and just saying like, hey, we need to get back on the road. Like, it'll be okay. I've never seen more suspicious activity at a gas station before. Yeah, but they really style up Laurie Holden, the actress playing the cop, Sybil Bennett. They really style her up like the big boobed cop in Police Academy. There you go. Right. With the mirrored sunglasses and everything. The cop ends up chasing after her. Mom like screams right through a fence and then has like, a pass out wake up essentially. And the cop ends up not quite making it through. Yeah, because the cop pulls her over. And then the mom's like, we'll solve this.
Nuts to this. If I run from the police.
Right, yes.
Because she shouldn't be going to Silent Hill. They closed that place down. We learned that part of the reason why is that there's been a fire burning in that town forever, underground. Yeah. And this is based on Centralia, Pennsylvania, where there's a mine fire and it's still going, as far as I know. Just me personally, I think this is a great horror idea. Like the fire underneath the town, but I assume that that's not the case in the game, right? That is absolutely not the case in the game. Okay, yeah. They ended up introducing it in the fourth one, I believe. They added some elements of this, like the cult being more of a town-wide thing. There's like 5 characters in the original one that you like run into. Yeah. So they changed that a bit. Without giving too much away, what happens here, basically the reason the town is the way it is due to a botched ritual, sort of trying to give birth to this demon, and it kind of doomed the town. Right. And no one really knows what's going on, but also no one's really around. Whereas this one, there's a lot of people around and they're not really talking about it. So, Rose wakes up and she gets out of her car. The kiddo's gone. She ends up, the kiddo's gone when she wakes up. That's scary enough. She walks around. She gets out of the car, walks around, and it appears to be like a snowy, foggy town. Quickly realize that it's ash falling from the sky. Now, this is where I started doing the like, hey, I know that type of stuff. And especially, there were definitely moments that he must have been just like, no, video game characters move like this, whether it be like through the town or through that little narrow fenced in situation. It almost looked like an older game with like the fixed camera. That is in fact 1-to-1 to that moment in the game. That's fun. I mean, if you're going to do like, that's a for the fans type of thing. And yeah, I'm of two minds about it because I like it, but at the same time, it got me thinking about part of what's so disorienting about that is controlling the character through that as the camera's like wobbling around. Yeah. And then it's also, well, that's cool that you did that. And I'm sure like because he's very big into cinematography and the movement of the camera, obviously, that he might have been like, well, how could I do that? How can I solve that? It's a problem to solve. But then there's a certain amount of like, it's kind of a paucity of imagination where you're like, just traced it. You know what I mean? Like you just did the thing from the game. But like I said, I'm of two minds about it because I still kind of enjoyed it. Right. Yeah. So she's walking around and she goes down this big ass staircase after an air raid siren happens. Creepy, effective. I thought it was kind of neat. Again, don't know if that's a big thing in the game or not, but absolutely it is. Yeah, they never really explain where it's from, if I'm remembering
fun.
correctly. This time they tie it to the church, that it's like a specific signal when something's happening. But it is a sign that you move into the quote unquote like dark world, the other world.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of flaming babies attack her.
Yeah, you're going to get flaming babies. That's going to happen.
Burnt babies, from the ash, I suppose. I guess we get a little bit of an idea of what they might be later on in the movie. But at this point, it's just like a whole bunch of crawling babies chasing after her. That's scary enough. But how does she get out of it? Pass out, wake up.
Pass out, wake up.
Yep.
That is true to the game. Happens in the game.
Yeah.
Except it's like little weird guys with knives, not burning babies. But.
Yeah. She did wake up in a bowling alley, and I just went through a bowling alley setting, which was kind of neat. So,
that's fun.
So I don't know if there's a bowling alley in the first game, but that was another one of those like, oh, maybe this is where he mashed into something. But
she wakes up to Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Which, you get it?
Yeah.
You get it, everyone?
Also, that had to have been expensive. And just save that money, guys. We don't. Right. I love that song just as much as everybody else does. But you don't need it there. Yeah,
they make some odd choices in terms of like trying to telegraph what's going on or try to explain what's going on because like when she first arrives in town, they do this like moment where it's like the camera's kind of spinning around her and she's going, whoa.
Yeah.
And I think they're attempting to try to make this seem like, well, is this in her head or is this really happening? Sure. Because that's what, when you have a close-up of a person going, whoa, that means it's psychological.
There you go.
They don't really follow through with that in any kind of fulfilling way.
Right.
It's just kind of like, is it? No. Okay, moving on.
Right, yeah. Moving on to, she finds a map and picks it up. Again, great. This is a video game movie. She's got to find a map.
It is a lot of her just running to different locations.
Totally. Right. So the cop then kind of wakes up because I guess she ended up crashing through the fence. So now she was out cold for a while. Cop sees the road just is disintegrated. Serves the same purpose of the bridge in Evil Dead 2. Like, you cannot go further than this. I've seen it a couple of times in the second game. It's just a way to keep you, like, we're not going to program all that stuff out there.
Yeah,
like,
this
is our rails. This is our border.
But it's also just like, that's a terrifying thought that just like,
100%.
Yeah, the street just ends. Everything else just dissolves into fog. There is nothing there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Something big is going down.
Yeah. Shel Silverstein was right.
Yes. Justice for Shel Silverstein.
But again, I did like this next bit because one of the parts of the part 2 game is this creepy staticky sound that comes from your controller when evil is afoot, much like Frodo's short sword. Just to continue the Boromir thing, it starts making a weird noise, and I think they're called lying figures in the game. This like weird, hairless, armless, featureless thing just starts like walking up to the cop and spraying acid at her, and she gets to take it out with a gun. Kind of neat.
Yeah, those are characters from the monsters from the second one. And in fact, most of the music they use is from the second one. And I love both of those things. And I can't necessarily speak for people that aren't huge losers or a different kind of huge loser. But like a lot of the music is using this in ways that don't make sense to me. Because like the way it's used in the other game, it's like it's to evoke this particular mood about what's particularly happening. That doesn't really feel like with the same of what you're using it right here.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm probably being a little too well in the game, but it's still, sure. I'm glad they bothered to use the music because, like I said, Akira Yamaoka's music is so good, so tied to the franchise. That being said, I didn't mind seeing those characters because they are like generic enough that it's like, yeah, that's fine.
Sure. And, practical effects, just somebody wrapped in a bunch of latex, and it was effective. I like that bit. I think this is where she gets separated from the cop, and she ends up following a whole bunch of bus stop signs to Midwich Elementary School. This also feels like something you would do in a game, is run around and look at things and
end up at the school. Yeah, that's exactly what you do.
Right. Yes. When she's running through the town here, all the production design looks good.
Yes.
I think it looks nice.
Yes, absolutely. It's a beautiful looking movie. I wish they leaned more into the otherworld look, the dark, rusted, industrial kind of thing. I really like that. Sure. And that's a big hallmark of the game. But when they're in the more sort of snowy, foggy area, looks fantastic.
Runs around the school for a long time. She keeps catching glimpses of Sharon. And she ends up in a bathroom and she finds an item, a blue item in the mouth of a corpse, as you do.
Yep.
But, this is the first bit where we'll see some barbed wire.
Yeah. And she checks the mouth of the corpse because she hears like some crying, opens the stall, and there's this this sort of Hellraisered up body in there tied up with barbed wire. There's writing on the wall that says, "I double dare you." And she goes, well, obviously that means pull something out of his mouth. And so it does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The little white circle appeared and filled in and said, look here.
Press A to mouth.
A whole bunch of bad guys start hassling her. I guess they're supposed to be coal miners because they do have a little canary in a cage.
Yes.
Which I thought was cute.
It's very inexplicable because they look creepy, but they look more like humans than the other guy. She doesn't even I'm not even going to try to talk to you. I'm just going to get out of here.
I would. Yeah.
Well, you have a very big thing against miners. Like you are I am not speaking to any coal miners.
I don't talk to any children. No miners. All the walls start to turn to flesh. This kind of looks cool.
Yes.
I haven't experienced this in the second game. I guess does that happen in this whole podcast will be me asking you, does that happen in the game, John?
I mean, usually the changes from the light world to dark world or whatever are more, as you've experienced in the game, they're more like set pieces where it's well, now you're here. Mm-hmm. It's less of a gradual turn into stuff, but they chose to do that because it is a neat effect to watch things peel away, and sort of ties into that, air full of ashes thing, because all the reality kind of melts away and floats up into the sky. Mm-hmm. But then it also floats up and becomes Pyramid Head. Yeah.
Your favorite character.
I do like that character, but it makes no sense that he's here. Again, it's something very...
I have no idea why he's here.
It's something very specifically tied to the second game, but it is a fan favorite character.
Yeah.
But it is sort of you're making great expectations. It's a Dickens novel, so you have to include the Ghost of Christmas Past. People are going to go see this, and they're going to be well, where's the spirit? I need to see the spirit.
Yeah. He looks pretty cool in this.
He's cool. I wish they gave him more to do. There's one thing he does that is awesome. But
later on, favorite thing.
But just by the end of the movie, it's oh yeah, he was in this. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. And, even when I went to see the movie 20 years ago, I recognized, that's Pyramid Head. He's a big deal in the entire Silent Hill franchise, I bet. Isn't he like the Joker or something like that? Not really.
They keep trying to make him that. They keep trotting him out in different versions, but they really only... He's, again, very specific to the second one.
And from what I can tell from both the movie and my limited experience with the game is he just looks cool.
He looks very cool.
He doesn't do he has no real personality or anything like that. So it's just it's not so much a character as just we're going to keep trotting out this design over and over just to do stuff.
Because it looks real cool.
So not a whole lot happens with Pyramid Head right here. She just kind of runs away. So that was kind of hey fans, you see that?
Yeah, look what we did. Hey, it's a very early, and it's not like this wasn't around before, but it is a very early entry into the phase of the later aughts and into the teens of we put Thing in movie. You recognize Thing, clap for Thing.
Clap for Thing. She runs off, finds the cop again, and I do when she says, "That's all the bullets you got." Mm-hmm. Because that's obviously something you would do in the game. You'd check to see, what your ammo situation is like. And then, oh my God, Pyramid Head's here again. And he gets shot in the arm, and that's about it.
Woo.
So, he's trying to get through a big metal door, and it's all scary, and he's got a big, creepy, burly arm and everything. But, he doesn't do anything.
Right. It just feels so disjointed from everything that's going on. That's... Mm-hmm. Part of the problem, like I was saying before, about you're into this world and you kind of don't know what's going on, and your presence fuels that fear. Whereas it feels just so much more disjointed. Where it's okay, now there's bugs, I guess. Mm-hmm. What
CGI bugs?
They have little faces on them.
Yes. Now they kind of gather themselves after they've gotten Pyramid Head off of their backs, and now it's time to go to the hotel. And at the hotel, they find Anna. So it's going to the next level. And some other people are there. And of course, the idea is that you take refuge in a church. So let's pause here for who is Anna? The crone type of woman.
Oh, that's Dahlia is the crone.
Did I miss her?
Yeah, Anna is the one that they just find in the hotel. But Dahlia is the old crone that they meet. What I love about this, because she's, like everyone, most people in this movie, she says just a bunch of cryptic things. But when they meet, Rose is I'm looking for my daughter.
My daughter. I'm looking for my daughter. I'm afraid that she's been hurt.
We've all lost our children.
Look, we all got problems, lady.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, all our kids are dead.
Right.
Yeah. So she's an insane woman and says some creepy things. Mm-hmm. And then later she goes to the hotel and meets this young woman named Anna, who is like, well, Dahlia is awful. And it's good that her kid died. She's the spawn of the devil, or, whatever crazy crap.
This is, I haven't gotten there yet, but this is where I started teetering a little bit, just being like, who are all these people?
Right.
It was more fun just watching her like kind of walk around the town for a bit. And of course you need a story.
Right.
But, I just started losing the thread a little bit right
Well,
here.
because I think that's part of the problem is that you're watching it and going like, well, just ask someone something. Like, you didn't think to go like, what's going on here? Everyone's just kind of, It's not weird enough to pull that off. Like if it had more of a surreal vibe to the whole thing, and that people are just saying, almost like that David Lynch are just speaking in a certain tone and saying kind of half cryptic things. That works out when it's just people having regular dialogue and then just not asking like, hey, I noticed that the road is completely dissolved.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
What's up with that?
Yeah.
I did notice the bit where she jumps from one building to the next and kind of like an overhead shot is so clearly, and the next building is even nastier. And they did do a good job here of the absolute clutter that's all over the set. I did like the way that looked.
Yeah, the set designs in this are pretty great. They really nailed the look of the game.
So Rose finds Sharon, or so she thinks, after jumping across some steel beams.
Yeah, no one likes platforming in these games. Why did you include that in the movie?
That made me definitely a little anxious there, because I was never good at those. And so the little girl turns around and says, "Look at me, I'm burning." That's suitably fun and creepy. But then I was just like, so who is this now? Is this like a twin sister?
Right. She looks because she looks a lot like Sharon, but it's clearly not Sharon.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
The air raid sirens go off, and now we're at the best 90 seconds of the movie, in my opinion. As soon as this started happening, I hadn't thought about this in about 20 years, but then I remembered being so thrilled by this in the theater when I first saw it. But Pyramid Head walks up out of nowhere, grabs Anna, holds her up, tears her skin off, kind of Hellraiser style. Yeah. Just in one fell swoop.
Yeah, just one grab and twist and pull.
Yeah. But the best part, he just overhand throws it right at the church. Yep. And that is some blasphemous doodle on my folder in math class while listening to Bathory lyrics type of thing that I totally would have done in high school, and I absolutely loved. Sometimes a movie just hits that sweet spot of being so dumb, but kind of awesome and blasphemous that I absolutely adore. And best part of the movie.
Before watching this again, the main thing I remember about this movie is that. You just be like, hell yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, because all these people just appear out of nowhere and are running into the church because they're not affected by the darkness in there. Yeah, so Pyramid Head can't get in there, but what he can do is
tear some skin
off of stragglers and throw it at the church.
Right.
And that's where we're introduced to Christabel, played by horror mainstay Alice Kurga.
And show favorite.
Yeah. Maybe the only good thing about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Yeah.
So she's the good cult leader.
We judge because the souls of history hang in the balance. Because our faith has never failed us. Our faith keeps the darkness of hell at bay.
Then use your faith to help me find my little girl.
Only the demon knows where she is.
So all these people are, they're not quite under her thrall necessarily, but it is just she's a cult leader, but this is where I got a little bit disappointed here because I don't know all the lore from the first movie. I barely know the lore from the second game. And it's pretty quickly just known as, and I'm not against this idea as a horror villain, but it just quickly devolves into Christian fundamentalism. That's fine, but man, couldn't you go somewhere else with this? Some weird Lovecraftian cult leader or something like that. So there's so much more imagination to have here.
I would argue that probably comes from, or I would wager that probably comes from the time that this was done, because we're still in the midst of the second Bush administration, and their weird evangelical stuff and that was a little bit more of a push at the time.
It's true.
So I think that was, probably a little bit of a reaction to that or tapping into that. Whereas I agree, again, and please understand that the differences between the movie and the game isn't what makes it bad. It's just, I think sometimes those differences are unnecessary and confuse the matter. Because I think adding this whole other cult, we find out is not like, because they want to burn witches, and they thought that, I mean, fast forwarding ahead a little bit, that the little girl that we see is named Alessa.
Mm-hmm.
She was captured by the good cult. Yeah, like they think her mom's nuts and that she's like the child of a witch. She's a witch herself, and they all hassle her and then chase her into a bathroom stall where she gets molested by a guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Colin, the guy that we see earlier, which was completely unnecessary and
yeah.
Also, it's just like, yeah, way to get molested, idiot, is what it feels like.
Right. I just have a problem with that kind of stuff in movies anyway these days, where I'm just like, we're going to try to be as extreme as possible. Well, it's like, you had other things you could have done instead of like a little girl getting assaulted.
But it's also just kind of a pointless escalation because they end up sacrificing her and setting her on fire. And it's like, yeah, but what if that she was also molested? It's like, no,
right, exactly.
I'm pretty horrified with just the fire. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did they try to say that they're cleansing her somehow? And that's also like weird because that implies that it's her fault.
Right.
That she got molested, which is also doubly sick.
In the game, the reason that this happens is Alessa who's actually older in the game, is that Dahlia has just been abusing her and beating her to like make her this vessel for this god they want to give birth to. And in the process of that, she also like gets caught on fire or something like that. So there's a little bit more like the terror is more inherent into it rather than, is being applied by the mom rather than just like this weird church element to it. What I don't understand is that they routinely are like, we got to burn witches. In fact, later in the movie, they're yelling at Rod and Mitchell and the cop about like, oh, these are witches. We got to burn them. Why did they leave Dahlia alone? They're just like, oh, look at that goofball. Like, dude, she's the one that gave birth to the witch that you think caused all this in the first place.
Main witch.
Yeah. Because they also don't fully understand what's going on, but they also think like that they're the only people that survived like an apocalypse.
Right. Yeah.
And they sort of did because we learned that this is all Alyssa's plan to vengeance, which doesn't make much sense because you're still giving them like food and stuff like that. You could just hang around outside the church and let them die. I like, why are you keeping these people alive for like what goes on, what ends up being like 20 years or something like that? I think it's supposed to happen in the 70s is when the fire happens.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. This is, we are stretching a little bit into the point where I was like, I didn't quite throw up my hands because I was still having a good enough time watching the movie, but I was like, there's so much going on and I would have liked it so much more if there was so much less going on.
Yeah. You just overcomplicated it. Like in trying to explain the sparse narrative, you went way too hard on it. Like you just, way too much stuff.
Oh yeah. And we haven't even gotten into like the next level of it. But there's, so they all go to this like hotel and this is where the secret society is, you've got your people in like black lace, like face masks and stuff like that, who are going to eventually like sacrifice the child. And, that's when they build the pyre and accidentally set the whole town on fire. So this is why that there's a fire raging beneath Silent Hill. The cleansing ritual, they screwed that up, or like she through her demonic power stopped it or something. Yeah. Caused the church to burn down, which I guess ignited something in the mine, which is also strange because the cop Gucci is like telling Sean Penn in the quote unquote real world as they're looking Sean Bean in the quote unquote real world as they're looking for more exposition to give.
November 74 when the fire caught. They tried to evacuate this place as quick as they could, but it was hellish. People were dying and disappearing. Hell, they couldn't even find half the bodies.
But then later, when we're hearing the backstory about Alessa, she's in the hospital in Silent Hill. Wouldn't they have moved her somewhere else? I mean, not to get like that nitpicky about it, but it's just like her plan doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because it's also not her plan. Like she's the devil.
She's also a devil. And then there's two Alyssas.
Yes. Now
there's Dark Alyssa.
Right.
If you were following along perfectly, here's where the curveball is.
Please explain to us what was going on. Because in the game, like, like Alessa is one person, and in doing the ritual, like it somehow splits her soul, which like when you're talking about like magic and this kind of stuff, fine. Yes. And like,
big deal.
It made her innocence into the baby at the side of the road that Harry gets. But then Alessa is still like kind of alive and trapped in Silent Hill. There's just two of the same.
Yeah.
Like Dark Alyssa, and it's not really explained why Sharon is any different, but they needed to draw her back so that she could form fully together to get her full vengeance on the town. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really make much sense. It didn't make much sense in the game, and it makes even less sense in this because it also like really posits the bad Melissa as the devil.
And who are you?
I have many names. Right now, I'm the dark part of Alessa.
Christoph Gans has said in an interview that she's basically the devil, and it's like, this is a long way to go for the devil.
Right.
You've got devil, you have a lot of other avenues you could go to, you know?
Totally. And again, like, and I've said this before on the show before, where it's just like, I quite like heaven versus hell type of stories. That's great. But this movie seemed to have, and games seem to have more imagination than why like limit yourself to just the devil and like fundamentalist Christian stuff.
Yeah.
Not really for me. Lest we forget before we rush into the ending here, as we stumbled through all of that lore and minutia. So to get to the hotel, we forgot. I forgot to mention this part where Rose has to look at a map and memorize her way. You know, in the game, you get a little map that you can look at.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would manage these games without a map.
You'd have to memorize it like she does.
I can't do that. But she does look up. I swear, and I should have rewound it, but I swear she was doing the Konami code. Like it sounded like she was going up, down, left.
I take a left, take a right. I take an A, I take a B.
Take an A, take a B. Yeah. But that did make me laugh that she's memorizing a map. And someone does say, like, memorize that. The guards end up overtaking the cop lady for a while.
That is
Sybil.
So stupid. Because like they have this fight with the miners guy, like they've turned on them, whatever, they're fighting them. The cop like props open this elevator for Rose to escape.
Yeah.
The cop has a gun on them, could clearly get in the elevator with Rose, but it's just like, I'll take care of it. You go rescue that little girl. Sends her away in the elevator and then fires her empty gun at the cop or at everyone, revealing that she doesn't have any bullets. And then it's kind of like happy as they take her down. Like, I get to leave this movie. Oh boy.
It's one of those, the script needs a heroic death or a heroic ending to a character that we supposedly like, but it makes absolutely no sense why they would have to go down that road.
Yep. Oh, I call it the old Mike Flanagan. Yeah. No, he's only done a couple of movies, but I hate pointless self-sacrifices. That don't mean anything. It's really annoying.
Right. But we're supposed to.
Right. It's supposed to feel something there.
So lest we forget, she does find a dance troupe dressed like nurses.
Okay.
Down there.
Okay. Now this is again a thing where I gotta
put your nerd hat on. It's
just there. Yeah. That the sexy nurses.
Yeah.
There have been nurses in every Silent Hill game. There's also been doctors in the first one, but like the sexy nurses show up in the second one. And again, that's very tied to what goes on in the second one. But they just went, well, people like sexy nurses, so let's do that. I did like this scene for the most part.
Yeah.
Because like she figures out that they're only responding to the light and she has to like move between them and they're still like jittery and like occasionally moving and slashing each other. But again, another inexplicable thing where she is past them and then she sets the light down and turns it on and then runs away. You just got rid of your flashlight for some reason. I don't know why you did that, but she doesn't need it because where she runs into is a bright light where she meets the dark Alessa, who just explains the whole plot to her. Doesn't make sense because
and I was still confused.
Yeah. Because like she's been apparently like leaving these clues throughout. Like at the school, there was this little table that said witch on it. And, you saw Colin in the, being trussed up with the barbed wire. And it was apparently like supposed to lead her all the way here to Dark Alessa, who just explains the whole thing to her. Why leave the clues? Why not just be like, hey, come here. This is what I need you to do. Because there's not like any growth that happened where it's like, oh, well, I realized that they were bad. If you told me, I was a little girl and they set me on fire, I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be on your side.
But that one time,
you have to be a pretty shitty kid. Like if the kid from Problem Child was like, look, the town set me on fire, I'd be like, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, sorry.
And Problem Child too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to prevent Problem Child too. It did not happen. It was a ritual gone wrong.
Right.
But yeah, just lays this all out about how like it's actually the town did this to me. And it was my like the rage Alessa had allowed the devil in to do this revenge. And now, but like, okay, so this plan's not working though, because like the townspeople still alive and they can protect themselves in the church. But there's still like food around for them somehow for 20 years, whatever. But it's like, so this plan isn't working. So what I need you to do, Rose, is I need you to let me in. Once I get in the church, writing you inside of you, like I can like form up with Sharon and do my ultimate revenge from there. And Rose is like, whatever, just stop talking.
Yeah.
You have been going on for a very long time about this.
I would rather go face a room full of occultists with razor wire coming out of them. You know,
this is so much exposition. This is just
they go in and to the church and they find Alice Krieg there. Rose tries to convince all the church people that to not pay attention to Alice Krieg anymore, free themselves. Alice decides nuts to that. We gotta burn the cop lady, which they do.
And that is brutal. Like, it's just a close up as her face is like melting and blistering.
Bubbling.
And
not bad. Yeah. And she keeps yelling to the kiddo down there, just like, oh, everything's going to be okay, kid.
Don't worry about it.
Like,
yes, that is bacon you're smelling. Don't worry about it.
Descend into flame. And then Rose gets stabbed by our cult leader, Alice. God, one of those little Alessa kids, dark one, light one.
Whatever.
Shows up and hovers for a while, and a whole bunch of razor wire comes out of her and just kind of decimates all the cultists.
It's just the end of Deader. It's just Hellraiser Pinhead shows up, throws chains at people. The end.
Done. Yeah. A couple of okay shots here, but I think that the fatal flaw with this sequence is there's entirely too much barbed wire or razor wire.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a tangled mess of stuff, and it doesn't look intense. It looks messy. I guess evidently there was supposed to be not one, not two, but 6 pyramid heads down here with a whole bunch of weapons that were just going to go around and slaughter everybody. Again, I don't know why, because it also seemed like Pyramid Head was supposed to be on the side of the little girl this entire time.
Right. Yeah. It's again, like, it's not really explained. Like, it's just, he's scary. So he's there too.
Yeah.
But they survive all that. Aha, we beat you. Great. Rose and Alyssa are going to leave town now. So they do. And when they get home, everything's still foggy and scary. Yeah. And we're getting that intercut with Sean Bean at home where it's not foggy and scary.
Yeah.
But they're trapped in this dimension, which I guess is supposed to be scary, but it's also kind of a bummer because it's like, okay, so Rose is in this dimension with her daughter, who's not her daughter, who's this weird, like the devil, basically.
Yeah.
So you're just going to kind of hang out and die there. I guess that's too bad.
Does the devil kid just want a mommy now?
I guess. Yeah.
And like trapping her in that world.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of like what I was taking from
That's what it felt like to me, but it also like didn't make much sense. Why? Like, I guess once you're,
even the devil wants a mommy.
Yeah. Once you're in that world, I guess you're screwed. You can't get out. So, I mean, it's just as much a like, you've been dead this whole time kind of thing where you're just trapped in purgatory, which was one of the endings of the game. The original game had like 4 or 5 different endings. And one of them is like, you've been dead the whole time. You died in the car crash. One of my favorites is if you don't, it's not like the best ending, but after the final ritual, Cheryl is reborn as a baby and Harry just takes her and runs out of the town and like ends up under some streetlights and just looks at the sky like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And then like that ends. And I kind of like that feeling of like, I just went through all this and I can't tell you anything of what went down.
I can buy that.
Yeah, that's hard to put. That's hard to do in a movie. That is sort of how I felt. It was like, what was any of this?
Yeah,
what did I just experience?
Right. Woof. Well, let's honor our dead. Anna, played by Tanya Allen, skinned alive by Pyramid Head, skin thrown at church door. Officer Sybil Bennett, played by Laurie Holden, burned alive by cult members. Christabel, played by Alice Krieg, impaled through chest, ripped in half. Yeah, I for this one, there's a lot that I like about it. And then there's a lot that I find just, over-explaining. That's the biggest problem. Just like, you took something that didn't need to have all this additional stuff to it and just packed it chock full. And the last 35 minutes, 40 minutes of this movie, I think this movie's like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So the last 40 minutes of a 2-hour movie, I was just kind of exhausted and could still pick out little things that I liked. But I got overwhelmed by it all.
If I could make a Great British Bake Off analogy,
please,
to Silent Hill, it's like when you
bake them cakes. Is that what it sounds like?
Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah,
when your bottom is soggy. No, but like if you don't mix, like you're putting a bunch of let's say you're making fruitcake or something, like you put a bunch of like raisins and nuts in your bread or whatever, but you don't mix the bread properly and they all like sink to the bottom. That's what happened to this movie, is that all the exposition sunk to the bottom. So you just get these huge wads of exposition coming at you. And so its pacing is all over the map, and it doesn't, not very good. It's like if they were able to dole that out a little bit easier, you know, it's hard when you're just supposed to, when it's just a character wandering through an empty town, how you're supposed to do that. Cause it's not like in the games, you can find notes, you can find clues, but you can't have her just like wander around and be like, just hold on a second, audience. I'm going to read another note here. That might get a little tiresome. The way they doled out the information was not that great.
Bummer, because I've been really enjoying playing the game. And of course, I wasn't so naive to expect that the movie was going to be just as good.
Right.
But, you know, there were sections early on in this movie where I was just like, dang, is this one kind of overhated? Like, because I know it doesn't have the best reputation, but like there was a stretch where I was like, I'm actually kind of enjoying this, but I will fully admit it's because I'm playing the second game right now. And I had a good time doing the DiCaprio meme going like, hey, that sound went off. I know that.
But yeah, and that's the, as you could probably guess, that's part of my problem with this, is that I'm too in love with the games. And I'm like, well, it's not this. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it has legitimate issues as a movie.
At 100%.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like the Sean Bean stuff, as everyone has said, it's just not necessary. But I think it's just like that, those pacing issues, it's just so much lore dump. So much.
Stuff.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be the good one. So
I was going to say, good grief, that second one.
Yeah,
I know it's more reviled. So I mean,
I'm kind of excited. Because like there's no pretension of like, I remember this being good, and kind of like, oh, I guess I'm an idiot. Like I could just free fall into this thing.
For sure. Now, granted, having rewatched this first one, does it make you more excited for the third one with the same director?
No, absolutely not. No. We'll see. I mean, because I also don't know. You know, I doubt Roger Avery's doing the script on that.
I haven't watched the trailer. Since we decided to do this franchise, and because I didn't want any spoilers for the game, I haven't looked at a single gosh darn thing. I didn't even know this was the same director until today. So, just knowing that I'm already going to go see it in the theater, why watch a trailer? So.
Yeah, like I haven't seen anything yet. I'm kind of holding off on it. I like someone, I don't remember who made the joke, but someone online made the joke that like we're getting into January now where the movie slate is either horror or whoops, and we'll see which one this falls into.
Sure. Yep. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been enjoying the second game, and so I kind of hope to enjoy the movie that it's based on, and I hope to be able to finish the game by the time we go see the movie, because wouldn't it be funny if a crappy movie ruined a good game for me?
That would be funny. Like also, or if it just like gave you hints on how to beat the final boss. Like if he specifically says like, if I do this combo.
Sure.
Oh, all right.
Before going into, man, I really wish that she would have just grabbed a health drink off of a countertop or something at some point. You know, just something.
The town is just lousy with med kits for some reason. Yeah.
Everywhere. All right, everyone. Well, did you like this one? Have you played the game? Are you a fan of the games? Are you, or was this new? I kind of felt like as a horror movie franchise, this one just kind of fell off into nothingness a long time ago.
Yeah, well, because that second one was so not popular and
just killed it. Yeah. So not that we're reviving interest here at the podcast. It was only kind of vanity because I was playing the game.
This sucks. How come there's not more of it?
Right. But yeah, we will we'll head back here for the second one. We will return to Silent Hill. No, wait, we will have revelations about the Silent Hill. Then in the third one, we will return.
Yes, and those revelations will be in 3D.
Hill. Yeah, so you guys know what that means. Certain gentlemen will be coming back to help us digest this one.
Pyramid Head himself. Yep. He's got
a lot to say.
He's breaking the silence. He's just here plugging his book, Breaking the Silence, the story of Pyramid Head.
Breaking the Silence.
Yeah.
AKA, why do I have this big ass sword?
My neck hurts, the Pyramid Head story.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging with us, and happy January. I hope you had a nice holiday and everything. And let's take on Silent Hill all together.
That's right.
As we like to do. So, all right. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for the second Silent Hill. Good night.
Good night.
This has been a Caretaker Press production. It was produced by James Strayer and edited by John C. Myers. Logo by Ethan Kimberling and music by Michael Arthur Holloway, who you can find on Bandcamp. Follow us on Instagram at thismayhurtabitpod and email us at thismayhurtabitpod@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star review over on your favorite podcast app, and we'll see you next time.